Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, the one to the apostle nails, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers that are preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. May Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, have mercy upon you. I've been holding this video here for a minute, man. It's been for a minute. And I went in, I think they say it's a generated AI, whatever you call it. But you can't help but pay attention to the truth concerning the wicked of the earth, which is Esau, even the so-called white man. Hey man, you know, when the Yahweh Shem Shah said he was going to lift up the skirt of Esau, and this is exactly what's taking place here on earth, that his skirt is being lifted up, meaning what? He's being exposed left and right. And not only is he being exposed, Eve being exposed, and in the process of Eve, you wicked Israelites that working for the wicked, you actors, you singers, you dancers, you gospel singers, you name it. The list goes on and on and on. That Esau Edom is what? Is paying to what? To keep the people dumbed down and not being able to what? To think for themselves. They got witchcraft going every which way. Witchcraft is going every which way, y'all. And a lot of these Israelites, they don't know how to reprogram themselves outside of what Esau Edom has taught them. So they just what? They're just lost. So they just remain in it's just like what that is? What's the Matrix? Hey man, you talking about a good movie. Just like the Matrix, man. Most of you all are what? Are trapped in the Matrix, man. You can't get out until what? I'm speaking about you Israelites. You're not going to be able to come out of your dumb downness because the Heavenly Father had dumbed you down and made you what you are and who you are. For to be used, most of you all are just here to be used as an example of what the hell not to be. That's all. Let me see. Let me get it back. Make sure it's up. Make sure it's up. So listen up, man. I'm gonna let quite a bit of it play. I don't know when I'm gonna come in, but I will. I'm gonna come in with some precepts. So let's get it.
Black people in America, so-called, don't know their history. That they're cut off from the history of Africa, and even the history of everything that they did and everything that was done to them in America. That's why you have Black History Month, right? So this is something that everyone knows about. Everyone is aware of this issue. But the truth is that so-called white people don't know their history either. Their history in America or their history in Europe. Americans generally don't know history, which is incredibly useful when you consider the fact that history repeats itself. It's incredibly useful to keep the entire population in a state of amnesia, so that the whole country operates like the main character in that film Memento, you know. So you keep doing the same things that you've always done, and you never understand that you're actually doing the things that history has already judged to be crimes. You understand? You can do it as if there's no context, as if there's no history, as if there's no pattern. That's the whole point of approaching current events from an ahistorical perspective. You don't want anyone to see the pattern. You want to be able to do things that have already been condemned by history, but you want to keep doing them anyway, as if you don't know that they're contemptible. You don't know that they are condemned actions. Just like Donald Trump now invoking the Alien Enemies Act in reference to mass deportations and so on. Okay, this is the same act that put tens of thousands of Japanese Americans into internment camps in World War II, and for which the United States government eventually had to provide compensation, and eventually had to even apologize for doing it. You see, it is something completely contemptible that you did, but you want to repeat it. So you forget your history. You forget history so you can repeat history without blame. Both so-called white people and so-called black people in America don't know their history. Both have been told lies about the past, about their respective pasts. And the only reason for that is for the purpose of maintaining the continuity of the contemptible reality of how that society operates. Amnesia and fictional histories serve as a preventative measure against change, against reform, against rehabilitation. America chooses to live like it's in the movie Groundhog Day. You know, you pretend that only today exists over and over and over again. And because of this forced amnesia, because of this deliberate suppression of historical awareness, the people in America don't even recognize when they're reliving their own past. They think that they're facing something new. They think that they're responding to some unprecedented crisis every time. If you have no recollection where the road leads that you're on, then you'll keep walking it again and again, never realizing that it has already led you into disaster after disaster, dozens of times before. And this is exactly the condition that the rulers in America want, that the elite of America want, not just for black people, not just for so-called white people, but for everyone. Because the most effective way to ensure that a crime continues is to make sure that it is never recognized as a crime. To make sure that every time you commit that crime, it feels like the first time. You know? So when Trump talks about invoking the Alien Enemies Act, most Americans don't hear the echoes of history from that. They don't hear the voices of the Japanese Americans who were dragged from their homes and put behind barbed wire for years and years. They don't remember that that country had to apologize for doing exactly what they're about to do again. The American mind resets every morning, and that's the perfect condition for those in power. Because if people really understood history, then they would recognize that nothing about the American system is accidental. Every aspect of it, from its racial hierarchies to its economic disparities to its unjust foreign policies, is simply the continuation of an old script, a script that has played out again and again, always leading to oppression, always leading to exploitation, always leading to war, always leading to misery. And this is why in America history isn't taught. Fiction is taught, legends are taught, myths are taught, but not history. Because real history would be dangerous. Real history would break the illusion and potentially break the cycle. So-called white people in America know a version of history. They know a story. They know a narrative that has been carefully crafted to shape how they see themselves, how they see their ancestors, how they see their nations and their place in the world, and how they see everyone else. And this ignorance, this deliberate miseducation that they have imposed upon their own people allows the same crimes to continue. What most white people in America and Europe believe about their history is not history at all. It's mythology.
Mythology, man, which is what? Which is lies, made up. You know, they'll give you a little truth from the scriptures, and then they turn around and give you what? Give you a whole bunch of lies watered down with that little small portion of truth that they give you. And like he said, history repeats itself, and it definitely repeats itself. Can't read Romans 15:4 enough. Whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. And these things are what? He went in, well, he went further down. I listened to probably most of it. And he spoke on concerning the Heavenly Father's judgment. As though he knows of reincarnation. So you keep coming back and doing the same thing over and over. That is reincarnation. And reincarnation is real. For whatsoever things were written before time were what were written before for what? For our learning, man. I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Hey. You can't get around the scripture. So let me read this precept right here, and I'm gonna turn it back on. This is Psalm 94:13. that thou mayest what? Give him rest from the days of adversity. That word adversity goes into, your condition or misfortune. Excuse me, y'all. Hardship, difficulty, or distress. Who's going through most of these things? Us. We are. No one has been, in other words, no other nation outside of the children of Israel, which is your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land. No one has been treated more harshly and been doing more wrongly than what? than the children of Israel. Every nation, he spoke on the Japanese, but hey, that was short-lived. It was short-lived. And then in the process of it being short-lived, they gave them what they call it, reparations. They gave them all them things. But you Israelites, y'all be running around here thinking y'all gonna get some reparations from these people. Y'all lost your mind, man. We're the Israelites. They don't get an Israelite anything. They keep you down. Listen, man. Why do you think that America allows any nationality of people to come in your neighborhood and open up stores, but won't allow us to open up any stores or any franchise? Look at all these millionaire Jakes around here got all this money, so-called black men and women, and they can't They can't own a franchise. Just make it make sense. Why? Because they're what? They're Israelites. You want to keep them what? Under their feet. Psalm 94:13 again. That thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity. Soon we will have that rest until the what? The pit, meaning death, the grave, be digged for the wicked. Yeah, Esau Edom is going to get smashed over here in America, man. Huh? So let's hear a little more.
Designed to produce a specific kind of person. A person who does not feel guilty. A person who does not feel accountable. A person who does not feel responsible for ever changing anything because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They're taught that their ancestors were pioneers. Their ancestors were explorers and builders of civilization. That they brought progress and democracy and enlightenment to the world. They hear about the Renaissance. They hear about the Industrial Revolution. They hear about the Age of Discovery, and so forth and so on. And not about enslavement, not about genocide, not about the theft, not about the destruction that their people are responsible for. They're not taught that their prosperity was built on unimaginable suffering. They're not taught that their systems of government, their financial empires, their very sense of national identity are all rooted in exploitation. They don't know about the crimes. They don't know the real legacy of their people. And so they don't change. They don't have to change because they don't even realize what they need to correct. When we look at colonialism, for example, the history that's taught in Western schools is usually an abstraction. Colonization is framed as something that it just sort of happened a long time ago, something that was maybe unfortunate, but it was inevitable, and ultimately it represented progress, and there were many beneficial things to come from it. Never mind the millions of Africans who died in the Congo Free State under King Leopold. Most white Americans have never heard of them. Never mind the Bengal famine of 1943 when millions of Indians starved to death due to British policies. They don't even know about it.
But, we we know now. The world knows now. Not just us. The world knows that who we are now. And these things, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, He's going to come here for what? The 1/3 of the children of Israel, starting with the 144,000 men. And it will be long lived forever. Because our big brother Yahweh Shai, who everyone even called Jesus, He is your what? He is your salvation. You're not going to we're not going to come out from under these heathens, these devils, especially Esau, Edom from under him, and he's not going to give you anything, man. He's not going to give you anything to prosper alongside him in his kingdom. It's just not going to happen. Because he know if Jake come up, it's over with for him. Verse 14 of Psalm 94 and 14. For the Lord Yahweh will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. The Heavenly Father Yahweh Shah had not forsaken his inheritance, man. Because why? We're his people. He chose the people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth, man. Proverbs 19:14. House and riches are inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord Yahweh. So guess what? The Heavenly Father, his inheritance, the Israelites, is still belong to Yahweh Shah. And Yahweh Shah is coming down here to what? To gather the elect together, starting with the 144,000 of men. See a little more.
The fact that the American police forces evolved from slave patrols, they don't know about that either. And they're not any more informed about the ongoing crimes, like the pillage of African resources today, the economic neocolonialism that keeps entire regions of the world impoverished, the exploitation of labor in the global south. These aren't relics of history. That's the present-day reality of what your people are doing. But the story that white people are told does not include those realities, or else it packages those realities deceitfully and dishonestly. They packaged them dishonestly and deceitfully in the past just like they do now. The irony is that when they're confronted with the truth, many of these people will react defensively. You know, I didn't do that. That was in the past.
This one easy trick will save you thousands when buying a used car.
Slack it,
Did you
man.
know...
Why should I feel?
Let's hear that again. And who is the great? I mean, the best at saying, repeating those words. I didn't do anything. That was my I didn't do anything. But listen to this breakdown. I mean, hey, it's a repeated quote from the prophets, but this guy here is repeating it. And the things that they're speaking, the prophets had already been spoke these things, and it could be AI generated. And the good thing about that is that it speaks truth, regardless of what it is. Whether it's just a man or AI generated, I don't know, but regardless of what or who it speaks truth. Listen to this portion again. This is the defense of damn near every so-called white person in America. This here is their lines that they love to use.
Regions of the world impoverished, the exploitation of labor in the global south. These aren't relics of history. That's the present-day reality of what your people are doing. But the story that white people are told does not include those realities, or else it packages those realities deceitfully and dishonestly. They packaged them dishonestly and deceitfully in the past just like they do now. The irony is that when they're confronted with the truth, many of these people will react defensively. You know, I didn't do that. That was in the past. Why should I feel guilty? But this reaction in and of itself reveals how little they're really understanding. It's not about guilt. It's about responsibility. You know, if a person inherits a stolen house, they may not have stolen it themselves, but they still live in it. And if they refuse to acknowledge where that house came from or how it came into their possession, if they insist that that house is rightfully theirs because the crime happened a long time ago, well, then they're complicit because the theft is ongoing. The crime never really stopped. So when people don't know...
The theft is ongoing. The crime never stops. So they want to, keep what they have, and they want to what? Justify it by what? Through their ancestor. That was my ancestor. But you still got the property. You still got the land. You still what? You still have no one still have. Hey man, how many of us have been what? Laid to sleep just for no reason, just slaughtering us for no apparent reason. Countless, hundreds of millions, countless. You can't even count them. Why? Because this is what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given us, man. To taste what? To taste of death. It's like no matter where we go, in the Western civilization, we're gonna always be treated like animals, man. They will take a stray dog in before they take a ninja in their house, man. In their backyard. They'll leave. How many? Hey, man, put it up. How many times have you ever seen white people take stray dogs home and feed them and bring them back? But how many times you see a so-called white person pick up a Jake or so-called black man? We just gonna say so-called black man because they are the ones that get treated the worst over here in America. Pick them up and try to bring them back, feed them. You're just not gonna see that. You're not gonna see that, man. So animals have more respect excuse me. I done ate something, man, and gave me, I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Train of thought. Okay. Yeah. They have more respect and more sympathy for animals than they do a so-called black man. And this includes our women too. Can't talk about Esau, Edom, and leave Eve out. Can't talk about Eve and leave Esau, Edom out. Because they both are one and the same. They work hand in hand in keeping Jake, the so-called black man, down. Verse 15 of Psalm 94 and 15. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Verse 16, which is what I want to get. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Who? The Heavenly Father is going to put the Spirit on Jake, man, and Jake going to stand up. Starting with Judah. This is why you see the awakening, the great awakening in the four corners. Esau, Edom coming, man. It's just a matter of time. They getting their little plan together. They getting they little made up laws that they're gonna make up, and they're gonna do what? They're gonna justify when they come. They're gonna justify them coming at you. It's gonna be justified through what? Through their lies, their court systems. These are the things that they're gonna use to what? To bring forth the wickedness that they want to do to what? To us. What that is, Joel. I'm gonna come back to that, which is Joel 3. Let's go to Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations. And what is he speaking about concerning gathering the nations? He talking about gathering the nations in what? In the Persian Gulf. For what? For judgment. Because Esau is what? He's making it. Well, we say DJ Trump is causing all kinds of disasters and making these devils over here to what? To suffer. And they're going to continue to suffer as long as they're in power, in authority. America's not coming back this time. It's not coming back. Because it's their time for them to go down. Therefore wait upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up 2 to pray, and that prey is Esau Edom. For my determination is what? Is to gather the nations in the Persian Gulf, that I may what? May assemble the kingdoms, to what? To pour upon them my what? Indignation. And that indignation is going to be what? Going to follow through with what? Nuclear missiles, which would be World War III. Fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with what? The fire of my jealousy. Wait upon me. Let's see something else. What I want? Psalm 37. Let me look at it right quick. Psalm 37 and verse 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh, they shall inherit the earth. Who is that? Starting with the elect, the 144,000 of men, then women and children. They're going to inherit the earth first. And then the judges, which are going to be the true judges of the earth, they're going to be what? They're going to put forth they're going to put forth, I heard something. Anyway, they're going to put forth I lost my chain of thought, man. Let me read this again. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh, they shall inherit the earth. Again, oh yeah, okay, I got it. The 144,000 is going to inherit the earth, and when they inherit the earth, they're going to put forth what? Put forth judgment in the earth. Going to bring back righteousness, and get rid of what all the wickedness that Esau Edom has scattered in the four corners. Let's go to verse 10. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be ye, though thou shalt what? Diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek, meaning the ones that are what? That are in the fruit of the Spirit, shall inherit the what? The earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. This is when we are going to get peace. We're not going to get peace no other time, man. Because until Yahweh shall come and take down Esau Edom, there will be no peace until then. Let's hear a little more of this before I go a little further. Go back to Zephaniah. But let's hear a little more. I'll come back to it.
For their history, they cannot recognize when history is repeating itself and when history is actually just a continuum into the present. This is why so-called white people in America can watch their government arm and support genocide in Gaza, bomb Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and so on, and actually believe when they say it's for the purpose of security. They don't see the colonial mindset at work. That's why they can see corporations, for example, Western corporations, strip mine Africa for resources and not connect that to the centuries of plunder that came before. This is why they can hear about mass incarceration, about police brutality and systemic racism in the United States, and not understand that these are not new problems. These are just new forms of an old system. These are new manifestations of the same system. And this is why they don't resist, why they don't challenge the structures that continue to exploit and continue to oppress. Because they don't even recognize those systems as continuations of the age-old exploitation and oppression. The truth is, white people have been colonized too. Not physically, not economically, but psychologically. They've been conditioned to believe in a history that never happened.
Full of lies.
A history where they were always the heroes. A history where they were never the villains, and where their victims were villains. And as long as they live inside that fiction, well, they'll continue to perpetuate the same crimes of their past, even without realizing it. Which just means that we're not even talking about past crimes. We're talking about ongoing crimes from the past until today. Like I said, it's a continuum. If there's ever going to be any real change, if there's ever going to be any hope for justice, then so-called white people have to actually learn your history. Not the history that makes you feel proud and makes you feel good, that makes you feel comfortable, but real history, the history that makes you uncomfortable, the history that you've denied all this time. And only when white people know their real history, really know it, then maybe they can begin to take the first steps towards repairing the damage that that history caused. The damage that it caused to millions upon millions of people all around the world, including themselves. I mean, Americans, particularly so-called white Americans, you're all like the child of the BTK killer, trying to come to terms with the fact that you were raised by a monster, who you always...
Raised by a monster. Right? Listen, when Esau, Edom have children, they teach them, man. Teach them wickedness, man. They teach them how to be racist, man. Out the womb, damn near. And Jake, starting with these damn women, man, which is the so-called black woman, they so damn nonchalant and always talking about always, it's never negative. The only negative thing that they have to say and about who is their counterparts. They never have anything negative to say about Esau, Edom. They can't see the overall picture that Esau, Edom is oppressing us and tearing apart our homes in the manner that they do. They can't see that, but they see it. They don't want to see it. Why they don't want to see it? Because why? Because they're in the authority of the home. Esau, Edom is feeding their fat asses good, and they're what? They're not allowing themselves to see anything because why? They are what? They are so engulfed in what? Their greed that they don't give a damn. Huh? Who is more selfish than a damn woman anyway? And that's all of them. Then race don't matter when it comes to a selfish woman, man. They are very selfish, and they can care less whether you live or die when money is involved. Again, Now I'm gonna go back over here to excuse me. I left off to I know where I was. Psalms 37 in verse. Let me start at 11 again. But the meek, which is the Israelites, goes into what? The fruit of the Spirit, shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked, which is Esau, Edom, plotteth against the just. They do it daily, man, which is the Israelites. They, again, can't say it enough. They want to what? They want to establish their own birthright. And this is what this whole rebooting of the system is, which is the New World Order / the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast. This is their overall, excuse me, y'all. This is their overall general what? This is their overall concern. And that concern is rebooting the system and keeping us in what? In a even more way of controlling us like no other, like the Heavenly Father Himself. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to be gods. The wicked, again, verse 12 is Psalm 37:12. The wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the wicked of the earth, plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his what? With his teeth. But guess what? The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that this day is coming. He seeth that this day is coming. Let's see something right quick. Let me look at this, y'all. I could be wrong. Hey man, we almost home. We're almost home. Ecclesiasticus, which is in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 40 and verse 12. All bribery and injustice shall be blotted out, but true dealings shall endure forever. That's right. The goods of the unjust shall be what? Shall be dried up like a river, and shall vanish with noise like a great thunder in train. That's how America going out. America going out like thunder. And that thunder is going to be what? It's going to be a portion of that boom boom, which is what? Which is nuclear blast. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah. Let's go through 2 Thessalonians real quick. 1:6. 2 Thessalonians 1:6. We'll read that, then I'm going to go back to the video. 2 Thessalonians 1 and verse 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with thy power to recompense, meaning what? Give a payback, tribulations to them that trouble you. And who's troubling us the most in this kingdom here, which is, well, in the four corners of the earth, but who's troubling us the most? Babylon is what? Is in the scope of the Lord first, before anything, which is America, which is the daughter of Babylon. America is in the scope first, right? And who's going to get destroyed, going to get leveled like America? Well, no one is going to get it like America, because America will not be rebuilt. But the land of Jerusalem, it's going to be knocked down as well, bombed to nothing. It's probably halfway down now. Because they've been what, fighting forever over there. But they're going to get theirs too. They're going to get leveled after they deal with the golden cup in the Lord's hand, which is America. Once America get dealt with, then they're going to what? They're going to then we can start what? That new covenant. The new covenant not going to start until America be what? Gone, man. Seeing it is a righteous thing, 2 Thessalonians 1:6, seeing it is a righteous thing with thy power to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. That's a little more.
His thought was a good and upright man. If Americans in general really understood their history, well, they would know that the United States government has only ever used fear as a weapon against them. And every war that America has ever been involved in was only justified by lies. And every act of domestic repression has only ever been framed as being necessary for the sake of security. They would know that the anti-immigration movements, the anti-Muslim ban and so forth, and all of their surveillance programs, it's not new. It's the same thing. It's just rebranded versions of old crimes. There's absolute continuity. And the only reason that you don't know that is because you have no actual understanding of your own history. Yes, if Americans truly understood their history, they would not be so easily manipulated. They would not be so easily controlled. They would not be so quick to repeat the wrongs of the past, or rather to continue the wrongs of the past. But that's exactly why history is hidden from them. I mean, it's trite but true. There is nothing more powerful than knowledge. There's nothing more dangerous to a corrupt system than a population that remembers. And that's why our mission must be to educate people and to awaken people and to reconnect people with the reality of their own history, the good and the bad. Because when you understand your history, then you'll understand your enemy. Because they've been doing the same thing throughout history.
When you understand your what? Let's hear that again. Hold on, let's see.
Corrupt system than a population that remembers. And that's why our mission must be to educate people and to awaken people and to reconnect people with the reality of their own history, the good and the bad. Because when you understand your history, then you'll understand your enemy.
When you understand your history, you understand your enemies. That's a cold cut for you you wicked Israelites. Always trying to save Esau Edom. Huh? Once you understand your history, and then you being preached and I mean, they themselves is giving it to you, and you still what? You still not recognizing Esau, Edom as being an enemy, huh? You still trying to save them, which is this is Isaiah 13:14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. What that mean? That means no one is going to what? To save Esau, Edom from what? From the destruction of what? From the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Let me read that again. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own what? His own people. This one for you Israelites, you wicked 2/3, always trying to say Esau, Edom, and trying to drag him in the kingdom of heaven with you. Yeah, he's gonna be that. You know what? That's exactly what he's gonna be. He's gonna be drugged in the kingdom of heaven. There's not gonna be no way, no how, standing side by side with an Israelite in the kingdom of heaven. It's madness, man. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. This is the coming events of what is going to take place on earth, starting with America, man. America is going to get it like no other, man. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is what joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So all of you all are joined with the enemies and trying to hold their hands. You're going to be destroyed right along with them, man. You're going to be destroyed right along with them. Prophecy, it does not lie. Prophecy is not made up. This is the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and it is literally rolling off the page, man. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumean, meaning Edom, and upon the people of my curse. Who's the people of the curse? Esau, Edom. To what? To judgment. Who are the wicked? Malachi 1:3 and Malachi 1:3-4. The wicked tells you who the wicked is in their judgment. Let's hear a little more. Then I'm going to hear the few more preachers. I'm going to close this out.
Because they've been doing the same thing throughout history. And when you understand your enemy, then you'll understand how to defeat them. You'll understand how to oppose them. Because you've got an enemy who keeps you in a state of amnesia and a state of fake implanted memories. You know, every time you open your eyes, your enemy is right there in front of you telling you that he's your friend. And because you don't remember anything, you believe him.
Who is that? Huh? Clearly, who is that? We know who he is. We know who he is. Amazing. Let's hear that again.
Defeat them. You'll understand how to oppose them. Because you've got an enemy who keeps you in a state of amnesia and a state of fake implanted memories. You know, every time you open your eyes, your enemy is right there in front of you telling you that he's your friend. And because you don't remember anything, you believe him. You understand? The whole country is getting their drink spiked. Everyone in that country is getting roofied. And the one who spikes your drink and the one who abuses you when you're in your numb and unconscious state is the one sitting next to you in the morning when you come to, holding your hand, your protector. Oh, it's insidious. Uncle Sam is a serial killer. The son of Sam's got nothing on Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is the most prolific, psychopathic, diabolical, demonic mass murderer in history.
And who is that? Who is that? Who has more bodies than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Christians? Man? who didn't kill more? Who didn't deleted more people than Esau, Edom? No one. I
mean, look at that poster again, that Uncle Sam poster, that I Want You poster. Think about that. You would think that a character who's supposed to represent the great democratic America would actually be asking the people, what do you want? Not demanding, I want you to go off into the meat grinder of World War I and World War II. Over 500,000 American soldiers killed in Europe and in Asia, thousands of miles from the United States. And then basically some 20-something years later, the same message is repeated. And it's heralded as a great quote. It's heralded as a great statement from John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Why? That's not how this works. Talk about gaslighting. Imagine if someone said that in a relationship. You know, I need you to do this and that and the other. And don't even ask me about what you need me to do for you. No. Your government, your power structure hates you. But worse than hating you, they don't even respect you. And like I said, a major reason for that is that they have perfected the process of completely wiping out your memory. But the power structure has a memory. So you understand, that's
completely have wiped out your memory. And most of ye Jake, they don't care to remember anything concerning their past. What that is, Deuteronomy. DJ don't 32. DJ don't give a damn about remembering their past. All they care about, and then when it comes to you trying to give them a form of what is it? Yeah, that's what it is. They're always trying to save Esau, Edom. They're all the nations on the earth. They're always trying to save what? They're always trying to save Esau, Edom. They never talk about the Chinese man, the Japanese man, the you name it, man. They never, the Arab man. They always talking about the so-called white man. You know, it's part of our what of this truth to give remembrance of what of the past, because the past, like he said, the past. When you know history and you know your past, then you know who your enemies are. I know my live everywhere, but he's a live everywhere. So what? I'm trying to maintain and give understanding concerning the words that are coming out of his mouth by using the scriptures, and he's using what? History. History goes hand in hand with what? With the scriptures, because they're what? They're all both the past. And who is a greater history teller than the prophets? No one. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. So our elders and fathers that we had, they're not teaching us a damn thing. Especially, Eve, your mama ain't teaching you, definitely not teaching you nothing. Because she's what? Her mind is crowded with what? Uncle Sam's FRNs. They're not going to never teach you anything, because as long as they can keep getting them FRNs and them damn food stamp, government funding, all that free madness, they can care less. They can care less. They can even care less about their men. This is why they what? It's like the men and the women of Judah is like night and day. They're at each other's throat daily. Let's start with who? Eve, leading the way, leading the pack of what? Of BS. Deuteronomy 32 and 7 again. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. Huh? We can't do what? Can't allow the as prophets, can't allow the devil to confuse our minds any longer, because we as Israelites, we are woke. Yahweh Shah has woken us up, man. We have the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. And pray for what? Pray that the Heavenly Father, that the Father of all the spirits, would give you that increase for what? To receive even further knowledge concerning who you are, what you are, and what's going on in the world. And most of all, pray for mercy. Ecclesiastes 3:3-15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. And thy power requires that which is past. So the future, the past always, the past and the future is one and the same. Because what has happened in the past is going to happen again in the future. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written for time were written for our learning. And then the Heavenly Father's judgment goes around, which is that 2 Ezra 5:42. I would liken my judgment unto a ring, man. It's going to come right back around until what? Until you, and smack you right in the face. Let's get one more. See if I find one good one. That goes into this. What is that? Deuteronomy 25. Let me see something. 25:17. Yeah, 25:17. What's a better memory than remember whose Amalek is? And Amalek is those small hatters you see over there in your land, calling themselves you. Huh? Deuteronomy 25:17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee. Talking about you Israelites. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way when ye were come forth out of Egypt. How he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wert. Esau has always been a devil, a cunning, wicked demon. Fair is nothing. Fighting fair, doing something fair is not something that he does. He's a master manipulator, and if they can, 15 of them can jump you. They always want to call someone a coward. They always want to call someone a liar when they are the biggest cowards and the biggest liars that had ever walked the earth. Anytime you can take an innocent man laying on the ground and 6 of y'all standing around and y'all shooting him, and then you take it, then you justifying it, or slaughtering the man, then you want to turn around and justify you slaughtering the man. You can't get no wickeder than that, man. Can't get no wickeder than that. Let me see something. Right quick, y'all. Let me see something. Jeremiah. I think that's Jeremiah 28. Jeremiah 28:8. Yeah, the prophets. The prophets that great precept to go out on. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms, which is what you see what now concerning this great awakening with the Israelites, starting with the men of Judah, which is a so-called black man, is waking the other tribes up to get what? Waking them up and teaching them and allowing them to know who they are and what they are, and in the process of them being woke, the Heavenly Father gonna allow Yahushua to say what? There's an elect within the elect. He gonna allow Yahushua to save his own, which is what? Starting with 144,000. The prophets had that, which is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, which is today going to be what? World War III of these times, and of evil, which is evil goes into what? Bad times. It's not, we now or what is in bad times, huh? In pestilence, meaning diseases. It's not these things taking forth and happening within the earth at this present day. Yes, it's not going to get. It's going to get worse and worse, man. Verse 9: the prophets which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that what? That the Lord Yahweh has truly sent him. So we've been prophesying this and telling you about World War III, that Russia was going to what? Come out of the north to do what? Along with the Allies. And we told you that the Allies of America is going to what? Going to be against the whore, which is America, which is what you see, which is Ezekiel 38. We're going to turn and put hooks into thy jaws. Of who? Of the other nations. To hate who? The whore, which is America, which is in Revelation 17. These things is taking place. We have been prophesying, starting with the apostles, which is Apostle Tahar, 40 years, Apostle Gabar, 30 plus years, 35 years, Apostle Ramlah, 30 plus, Apostle Ricard. They all been around doing what? Doing the same thing that they did in what? 40 years ago. And now what? The men of what? Men of GMS is giving you prophecy. And prophecy is what? It's the most important thing that the men need to be that call themselves prophets in giving warning concerning Revelation 13 and 16. Which is what? That great trial of what? Of faith. But if you around calling on Most High Christ blessed, which is IUIC doing, you already what? You already in a what? In a tale of what? Meaning, when I say in the tale, meaning what? Meaning being left behind. Because the true Heavenly Father and the Son is who? Yahweh, while Yahweh Shaman. Again, Jeremiah 28 and 9, the prophets which prophesy of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, which is already come to pass and came to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh has truly sent him. So that knows they call her Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rokah HaKodash, Shalom.